Now we are in Burgenland. Again, actually, depending on which club you're in, because there's a few from Burgenland this month in Austria, with Christina and her Chardonnay, which is also skin contact. So it doesn't say that on the label, but this is, I believe, 2 weeks of skin contact that she gives the Chardonnay. So we love Christina wines. We've had them in the club, we've had them on the site quite a few times, but we've never been in a position where we had enough allocation to put it in the club. So we're excited to have it. I think it's only in one club, maybe 2 clubs this month. So still not quite enough. But in the future, hopefully we can get some more and put hers in. They're just very popular. Like they're probably labels you've seen around. They're price performers. She's obviously an amazing winemaker. And yeah, so with all that in mind, let's dive in. So like I just mentioned, it's completely Chardonnay, but a take on it that you're not probably so used to. So it is 24 days of skin contact, obviously organically farmed and produced. I don't believe that it has malolactic fermentation, though I can't say that for sure. So we'll see what we see when we actually put it on the palate. And it spends 10 months in the barrel, or not barrel, because it's in a stainless steel tank, 10 months in tank before she bottles it. So all of that I feel like is going to give it a bit more complexity. But yeah, let's just see where we're at. So on the nose, it immediately feels like zesty and bright and has like a little bit of like greenness to it. Green, I don't know that it's so much, it's not like pepper or anything. It's more like baking spices, like the green kind, fresh green baking stuff. Is that baking spice? No, just spices. Sorry, I'm saying the wrong thing. Spices, like almost like parsley. I'm feeling like I'm making that not sound good, but parsley or cilantro. It's one of those like green, fresh spices that you have out in the yard. And then when you get down to the bottom, it's super citrusy, but not in like the traditional way. Not like, hello, I'm like I say spicy lemon. Not like, I mean, you can have spicy lemon, I guess, too, but I'm not like a zesty lemon. It's got a quality to it that I need a second to sort out. It's almost like maybe a little bit pithy, which makes sense because that can come when it has skin contact. And then there's also like, I would say peaches, like some stone fruit in there. You could probably go tropical as well. I'm not getting anything immediately that's screaming that at me, but I'm sure you could sort it out. So let's try it. So it's interesting. It almost has like a little bit of a lovely savoriness to it, which is fairly rare to get on whites, but more common to get on oranges because they're made like red wines. So it almost has this like savory finish to it with, I'm not exactly sure what to put my finger on around it, so I need to think about it a little bit more, but I'm not actually getting much oranginess to it. Maybe like whatever the really light one is. I guess like maybe I said pithy earlier. Maybe it's pithy from like a tangerine perspective more than it's like a pithy lemon. That's probably more what it is. But now I feel like I'm just like talking about technicalities here. None of this is that big of a deal. Whatever you're going to get is there. I believe you. I believe myself. But yeah, there's a lot to decipher in that. There's almost this like, I don't know if it's like Sprite or lemonade or some sort of like soda-y aspect to it as well. I think I said this in another video earlier with the cider, that it's almost like you can smell when you know something's going to feel a little bit carbonated, which is funny because this one's actually not carbonated at all. It's completely still. But it's almost like you can smell when it's going to be, I guess I shouldn't have said carbonated. I should have said like soda-esque, if you will, or like sugary drink-esque. Wherever you're from, I'd call everything, and I'm from the South, so I'd call everything a Coke, but a soda or whatever. All right, one more time. Yeah, that is some delicious stuff. And I think I'm just trying to like, there's just so much there. So I'm trying to spend all this time like pulling apart what's there. But overall, like, it's just lovely. It's balanced. It's got, oh, I didn't even talk about the structure. So the structure is just perfect. So I just kind of moved on. So the structure is such that it has a tiny bit of tannin, a good amount of phenolic bitterness, perfectly balanced by the acidity. I would say that it's just slightly more weighty than like a light-bodied wine. Like I would still put it in the light-bodied category, but it's headed towards being medium-bodied. And all that together makes me feel like it's, of course, very food friendly. As you may or may not know, depending on how much you study wine, like a lot of people call Chardonnay the chicken of wine, which is why it's very fun and interesting when you put skin contact on it, because Chardonnay by itself is just very influenced by where it is. Like Chablis is Chardonnay and it tastes incredibly chalky, and that is influenced by the soil there. With the skin contact, I think that it's very interesting because it adds intrigue to it, but it like almost amplifies whatever is already there. And the Chardonnay really takes to whatever the soil and whatever the terroir is basically of that region. So it's beautiful. And it's just like very well done with a grape that almost just kind of like exemplifies everything about the space. So with that, it just makes me feel like it's great food friendly for all kinds of stuff. Again, don't go put it with like a steak or anything, but if you're going to put it with like, it would work for a lot of Thanksgiving stuff. Sorry, we're talking about November again here, but I honestly am more happy with it. If we're like talking about, I haven't done a lot with vegetarian stuff this month. So like, I like the idea of this with, well, I love it with the idea of like a sweet potato. I think that it doesn't have like the honeyed notes to it. So there's actually probably some other ones I'd put with it better, but it could still work there. Or just generally like a medley of like roasted vegetables. I like the idea of it with like carrots and cauliflower and a bunch of other things. It could also work with chicken. We call it chicken of wine, of course, and turkey. Like it's going to go with all of those things. It's also very happy by itself. You're not going to have any complaints with that. It's 13% alcohol, so it's not super low, but not high at all. Like you can open this up and share and be happy about that. Anything else I put it with? It has like too much acidity to put it with like desserts or anything like that, so definitely don't try that. And it's not buttery at all. Like when you think about Chardonnay, nope. This is the exact opposite of that. So yeah, so just think about the idea, the pithiness. I think I really struggle to pair pithy things. So with that in mind, if you have something that you're like putting lemon in or putting orange in, definitely use something like this. It would be great. But also, yeah, I think I might need to do some more research on pairing pithy things. I might need a third word that starts with a P for that too, so it can be some sort of alliteration. And maybe that's a new blog post too, because there's a lot of things that are a bit pithy in natural wine or just wine generally, and it's kind of tough to figure out what to pair them with. So I'll do some research and let you guys know. Enjoy.